They say that you're crazy, but you're chasing the dream, so you're misbehaving.
Smart builders and keen DIYs love the work that they do. So if there was a smarter, more efficient way of doing something, well, you'd adopt it, wouldn't you? Tradies, DIYers, and partners of, you're going to want to watch this next story. And if you're not in any of those, well, here's a bit of construction 101 for you. So let's take a residential building or a structure like a fence or a deck or even a house. They need solid foundations in the ground to hold the building up and help distribute that weight. Now, on top of those foundations, you have things like bearers and joists and so on. One of the biggest nightmares about building anything is the foundations or the footings. So let's take like a residential structure, like a fence or a deck. You've got to dig a really deep hole. You've got to fill it with rapid set concrete. You've got to hold a post in there and you've got to do the little dance around it with your level until it dries enough that you can move on to the next 20 or 30 holes. You're going to come across tree roots, you're going to come across rocks, you're going to come across horrible rough terrain, and there's nothing you can do about it other than do the hard yakka and just make sure it all gets done. If there's no room down the side of a house to bring a digger, you're just going to have to stick it out. Well, not anymore. I have come across a system which means you absolutely 100% can stop digging. So this is it. This is the future. It's all over the world. It is in the UK, in Germany, in Ireland, in New Zealand, and finally it is here in Australia. These incredibly tough but super easy to install screws are doing away with the concrete and with the old-fashioned way of doing things. It really is taking off. Hey mate, how are you? Nice to meet you.
Yeah, good, thanks. Yourself?
Yeah, pretty good, thanks. This is all very cool. What is stop digging? How does this screw system work?
They're a ground screw foundation, similar to the big screw up here that you get in your houses, but they're more for small scale, for decks, fences, even portable buildings, that whole kind of thing. We've got a different sort of head for each sort of job.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes the job a lot quicker, a lot easier.
Such a simple idea, one of those genius ideas. What are some of the benefits then of doing this? Because I guess presumably the number one thing is no concrete.
We set out the job like you would any other job, string lines, get all your measurements correct and whatnot. And then from there we check the ground to see what any surfaces or anything below.
Yeah.
And then once we've done that, we get our pilot hole drill, which is basically an SDS max drill.
So you do like a bit of a core sample?
Yeah, core sample, yeah, drill down with that. And once you're done, you hook up the machine and away you go.
Pretty good. I mean, you know, when you look at this, there's a couple of holes already done already. There's no mess.
Nah, that's it. Yeah, no mess, no clean-up, no concrete spill or anything like that. Not much impact on the ground, so if you're working somewhere like a national park or something like that, it's better for the environment. And all the screws are reusable. We're simply just turning the drill to reverse and they come back out again. So.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Australia's a big place. The landscape's very varied. How does it go in those different soil types? Because we've got everything from sand through to really hard clay and tree roots. Does it work with all of that?
Yeah, so we get that question asked quite a bit, especially around here on the Gold Coast. You've got a lot of areas, that, especially close to the beach, that are sand. And the screws, they work fine going into sand. We got different sizes. Once we do a pull test on each job to sort of get the rough sort of what the screw's going to handle load-wise. And then, you got, obviously, these ones we got here are 865 long, but we go right up to 2500 if need be.
Is that right?
Yeah, so.
Because, the old days of trying to use a crowbar to go through a tree root or something,
Yeah, tree root, shale rocks, once you go through with the pilot drill, then the screw just does the rest of the work for you with the machine.
When you think about it, this just totally makes sense. It's smarter, it's quicker, it's cleaner, and ultimately it's more efficient. There's a big move in the construction industry towards systems like this, and I've worked on jobs where it's taken days and days and days to dig 30, 40 or 50 post holes out. And particularly if you haven't got access to heavy machinery down the side of a house or a narrow gap or something, this system is literally changing everything. A couple hours, it's all done, it's all good to go, it's all ready to build on. It's genius. Unbelievable. This literally has been a couple of hours and already the decking boards are going on. It's actually amazing. This system is brand new to Australia. It has been hugely popular all over the world and it's really starting to kick in here in Australia. Now, if you're a builder or a tradie, you've got to jump on board with this. They are desperate for people to become regional partners all over the country, particularly in Sydney and Melbourne. So if you want to train your guys in how to use this system, own your machines and start doing decks yourself and all those footings, then head on over to stopdigging.com.au. They've got a great website there with all the information and a couple of how-to videos as well.
Now, well, you've